The Chinese have a deity called the Monkey King, which is their version of Lord Hanuman. How did they come to start revering him? Did Lord Hanuman ever visit China? And how else has Sanatana Dharma influenced him? Look, Lord Hanuman clearly was a historical figure. The Ramayana is a historical event. This happened before the Mahabharata. And we could tentatively date the Ramayana to, I don't know, several thousand years before today. We know that there are mentions of the river Saraswati in the Ramayana. And the Saraswati is a great powerful river in the time of the Ramayana. It's depicted like that. It's not depicted as a river that's drying out. Yeah. And the river started drying out after 6000 BC, which is 8000 years before today. And it dried out mostly by about 1500 BC. That's 3,500 years before today. So the Ramayana would have happened closer to 8000 BC than to 1500 BC. That's how I see it. There will be people who disagree and people who have all these dates. I am not going into that controversy. That's not my concern right now. So the Ramayana most likely happened closer to 8000 BC. Was there any China in 8000 BC? Simple question. China is about 3000 years old. Chinese civilization is about 3,500 years old, if you want to be nice to them. Yeah, that's it. Then why would Lord Hanuman ever visit China? I mean, there is no evidence of him having done that, and China did not even exist as a culture and a civilization at the time of the Ramayana. Therefore, there is no connection that way between Lord Hanuman and China. Right? Now the question is the Monkey King, right? What do the Chinese call the Monkey King? They have novels in which he's a major character. I think he is called Sun Wukong or something. Let's Google this. Let us Google it, right? So the Chinese have. All right, one second. The Chinese Monkey King, Sun Wukong, I believe it's called. Sun Wukong. Okay, let's go to Wikipedia. As always, let me remind you that Wikipedia is not necessarily a reliable source of information, especially when it comes to Indian culture and history. But I'm just taking a cursory look at this. So the Monkey King, yes, Sun Wukong in Mandarin Chinese, is a legendary mythical figure. Best known as the main character of the 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. Yes, Journey to the West is a novel that essentially is the story of the Chinese pilgrim Xuanzang, who traveled to India. And it's the story of his travels and the adventures he had, the hardships he faced while traveling across the mountains in Central Asia and all that. And Xuanzang essentially came to India to gain knowledge, to gain great Indian knowledge. The various Buddhist sutras and other sutras that he took back to China, translated into Chinese from Sanskrit and all that. The Chinese, obviously, we know, they called India Tianzhu, the center of heaven. They consider themselves to be the center of earth, the middle kingdom. But they considered India to be the center of heaven. And India's influence on China is at least 2000 years old, at least. And it's all been a one-way traffic of culture influences. India has absorbed no Chinese culture at all in the past 2000 years. But China has absorbed incredible, humongous amounts of Indian culture. Yeah. So one of these is Sun Wukong. So in this novel, what is it called? Journey to the West. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, is one of the main characters who helps Xuanzang in his journey to India. And so what does it say? The monkey has certain supernatural powers because of Taoist practices and amazing strength, and he's the king of all the other monkeys and things like that. Yeah. And there is speculation over here somewhere, I believe, that the Ramayana, right? The Monkey King was possibly influenced by the Hindu deity Ramayana, the monkey god, the Hindu deity Hanuman, the monkey god from Ramayana. It's not possibly, definitely. There is no other monkey god in the world, no other Monkey King in the world. The original one is Hanuman. The Chinese have had 2000 years of Indian influence. So obviously and obviously even the Chinese are a polytheistic culture. Some Chinese, I believe, they revered certain monkeys. Yeah, they considered certain monkeys, the gibbons or whatever, to be divinities or something. You know, there have been some elements of revering monkeys as gods or divinities, even in Chinese culture. It's been there. But the character of the Monkey King bears so much resemblance. The character of Sun Wukong bears so much resemblance to Hanuman that it can be no other. So that's what it is. So the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, is essentially a Chinese representation of Lord Hanuman. It's inspired from Lord Hanuman, and it's one of the divinities in Chinese culture and religion. Sanatana Dharma has influenced the Chinese immensely. Mostly via Buddhism. Buddhism is part of Sanatana Dharma, by the way. I'm sure that people will come and say, no, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It is what it is. You may disagree. It's your choice. So the Chinese, and it's not just Buddhist divinities that you see in China. You see all the various Hindu divinities also in China. There have been Hindu temples in China. And the Chinese transmitted the same culture eastwards to Japan. And in Japan, you have every single Hindu god and goddess. Gods and goddesses that are classified today as Hindu gods and goddesses, not Buddhist gods and goddesses. Benzaiten in Japan is Saraswati, and then Lakshmi is there, Lord Mahakal is there, Lord Shiva is there, which is the same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's had an immense amount of influence on China, on Eastern Asia, on Japan, on Korea, and Southeast Asia. It's a whole different story. So yeah, it's been there.